Hi, hello everyone, it's me again, Mama Mariel, and welcome to my channel. So for this video, we're going to discuss all about graphing linear equations using four methods, okay? So when we say linear equations, review muna tayo. A linear equation is an equation in two variables which can be written in two forms. So, meron tayong dalawang forms for a linear equation. We have our standard form, ax plus by is equal to c, and the slope-intercept form, y is equal to mx plus b, where m is the slope and b is the y-intercept, alright? So now, we're going to discuss all about graphing linear equations using four methods. Remember, when we say linear equations, ang graph niya is of course, a straight line, right? So, using 2 points, using x and y-intercept, using the slope and the y-intercept, using the slope and a point, ito yung 4 methods na gagamitin natin on how to graph a linear equations, okay? So, take a look at this example. We have y is equal to negative 2x plus 6, and this equation is in the form slope-intercept form wherein y is equal to mx plus b, right? So what are we going to do first is to graph this linear equation using 2 points. How are we going to use 2 points in graphing a linear equations? So first step is to assign 2 values for x. So kahit anong gusto nyong value, basta mag-a-assign tayo ng dalawang value kay x, okay? So for example, we have x is equal to 1 and x is equal to 2. Nag-assign tayo ng dalawang value para kay x, okay? So, what are we going to do next, or the step 2, is to do substitution. Alright? So, paano? Since meron na tayong x, kukuhain naman natin yung y, okay? So, gamitin natin yung equation which is y is equal to negative 2x plus 6. Since kailangan nating isubstitute yung value ni x, wherein x is equal to 1, we have y is equal to, of course, copy negative 2. And then, meron tayong x, isasubstitute natin yung value ni x. Ano bang value ni x? 1. So, yung 1 is inassigned natin, okay? Or tayo yung nagbigay ng value ni x. Dalawa, okay? Since meron pa tayo dito later. So, we have negative 2 times 1 plus 6. Alright? So, we have negative 2 times 1 is negative 2 plus 6. And then, y is equal to negative 2 plus 6 is, of course, positive 4. Alright? Since magkaiba sila ng sign, isusubtract natin. Diba? Then, 6 minus 2 is 4. And, of course, get the sign of the higher numbers. The higher number is 6 and 6 is positive. That's why it is equal to 4. And then, ang nakuha nating ordered pair for that is, of course, first muna is x. So, x is 1. And then, y is 4. So, yan na yung ating first ordered pair. Okay? Since kailangan pa natin ng isa pang ordered pair, enable for us to graph a line in a Cartesian plane later, of course, kaya dalawa yung ating inassign na x. Okay? Na value ng x. So, we have, of course, gagamitin ulit natin negative 2x plus 6. Then, do substitution since we have negative 2, copy lang. And then, x, ang value ni x, ito, is 2, okay? So, we have times 2 plus 6. Then, negative 2 times 2, of course, negative 4 plus 6 is positive 2. So, we have the second ordered pair as, ang x natin is 2, so dito, and 2. Alright? And now, we are ready to graph it in our rectangular coordinate system. Take a look at this. We have our Cartesian plane in here, or a rectangular coordinate system. Of course, we have 2 ordered pairs. Ito yung kailangan natin enable for us to graph a line. Dapat straight line yung mag-graph natin, okay? So, we have positive 1 and positive 4. X and y yan, okay? So, x natin is positive 1, and ang y natin is positive 4. Nandito si positive 1, and nandito si positive 4. So, ito, nandito yung ating first ordered pair. Alright? The next thing to do is to graph positive 2 and positive 2. Since you have here a positive 2, and of course, positive 2, so nandito siya. Then, right after that, i-connect lang natin, enable for us to draw a line. Okay, so that's it. Yan na yung ating first method, which is graphing a linear equation using 2 points. Ngayon, gagamitin naman natin yung x-intercepts and y-intercepts, or mag-graph tayo ng linear equation using x-intercepts and y-intercepts. Kung kanina nag-assign tayo ng dalawang values kay x, okay, ngayon naman, ang gagawin natin is let y is equal to 0 and x is equal to 0. So, yun yung steps on how to graph linear equation using x-intercept and y-intercepts. The first step is to let y is equal to 0 and x is of course equal to 0. Okay? Then, the second step is to do substitution again. Okay? So, gagamitin natin yung y is equal to negative 2x plus 6. Same lang siya nung given natin kanina. Y is equal to negative 2x plus 6. Alright? So, we have y is equal to negative 2x plus 6. Substitute the value of y as 0. So, we have 0 is equal to, since ang value ni y is 0. So, ito ay y. That's why 0 siya. Negative 2x plus 6. Okay? The next thing to do is, sa process na to, ang kailangan nating makuha is yung value ni x. Okay? Since meron na tayong y. Alright? So, what are we going to do is, kailangan nating ilipat sa kabila si negative 2x, okay? And ang gagamitin natin dyan is addition property of equality. Okay? So, we have 0 plus 2x is equal to negative 2x plus 6 plus 2x. Addition property of equality. Since negative 2x siya doon, ang i-add natin sa dalawa is 2x, okay? Since 2x na lang yung matitira dito, and then, cancel si negative 2x and positive 2x dahil magkaiba na sila ng sign, cancel na lang, and then natira na lang si 6. Alright? So, para naman sa short method, ang gagawin nyo na lang is ililipat nyo si negative 2x sa kabila. Ita-transpose, okay? So, tingnan natin. Pag tinranspose natin to, ito yung short method gagawin natin. So, ita-transpose natin siya sa kabila. Diba siya ay negative? Remember, whenever na magta-transpose tayo to the other side, mag-change tayo ng sign. So, magiging positive siya. Equals the equal sign kasi tinranspose natin to dito sa kabila. And then, si 6 na lang yung natira dito. Take a look at this. Are they the same? Yes, they are. So, ito na yung pinaka-short method. And ito na naman yung long method, which is gagamit tayo ng addition property of equality. Remember na kapag gagamit kayo ng addition property of equality, kung ano yung i-eliminate nyo sa kanila, syempre, yun yung i-add nyo sa kanila both sides, okay? Since si negative 2x yung i-eliminate natin, since ito ay negative, positive yung ilalagay natin. Like this, negative 2x plus 6 plus 2x. Ito siya, positive 2x, okay? Pero kung ito ay positive, ang ilalagay natin sa kanila both sides is plus negative 2x. Magiging negative 2x to. Pero plus pa din yung sign. Okay? And then, ito na nga, itinuro ko na din kung paano yung short method. Ito yung long method. So, we have 2x is equal to 6. Then, right after that is, of course, to eliminate 2 since si x lang naman yung hahanapin natin. So, divide both sides by 2. Dahil si 2 yung i-eliminate natin, kay 2 natin sila i-divide. Okay, 2. And then cancel. X is equal to 6 divided by 2 is positive 3. So, yun na yung x natin. And ang ating magiging ordered pair para dyan is, unahin natin si 3 since siya yung x, and then 0. So, ngayon naman, let x is equal to 0. Kung kanina, y is equal to 0, ngayon naman, x is equal to 0. So, sasolve din natin siya by substitution. So, we have y is equal to negative 2x plus 6. Since x is equal to 0, so copy lang si y, right? Then negative 2 times 0 plus 6. Okay? Then y is equal to negative 2 times 0 is 0. Then 6 na lang yung natira. So y is equal to 6. And yung ordered pair natin para dyan is, unahin natin si x, which is 0, and positive 6. Alright? Okay, so take a look at this. a rectangular coordinate system. So what are we going to do is just to plot our two ordered pairs or 2 points in here. We have 3 and 0 and 0 and 6. So unahin natin si 3 and 0. Syempre, si 3 is nasa x, which is ito, and then 0. So nandito yung ating 3 and 0 or the first ordered pair. Alright? Then the next ordered pair is 0 and positive 6. Since si 6 ay nasa y-axis, ayan, we have xy, xy, alright? So, we have 0 and positive 6, second point natin. Then, after that, you are just going to connect the dots and able for us to graph a line, right? So, as you can see, ito yung ginamit natin kanina on graphing linear equations y is equal to negative 2x plus 6 using 2 points and using x-intercept and y-intercept. As you can see, parehas lang ba sila ng line? Yes, of course, parehas lang sila. Kasi kahit anong methods dyan, pwede nating gamitin in able for us to graph a linear equation. And of course, meron pa tayong dalawang methods na i-discuss right after this. Alright? So now, take a look at this. We are going to graph y is equal to negative 2x plus 6 using slope and y-intercept. Kung kanina, using 2 points and using x-intercept and y-intercept, ngayon naman is using slope and y-intercept. Okay? So we have y is equal to negative 2x plus 6. Remember, this equation or this linear equation is in the form y is equal to mx plus b or the slope-intercept form, right? So we have y is equal to mx plus b wherein ang ating slope dito is yung m, siya yung magiging slope, and ang ating y-intercept is itong b. Ayan, y-intercept. So what are we going to do first is to get the slope and the y-intercepts enable for us to graph a linear equation. Okay? So we have our slope is equal to, ang ating m is ito siya. So, yan yung ating slope. We have negative 2. Okay? And ang ating y-intercept is itong ating b. Tama? So, we have 6 as our y-intercept or positive 6. Right? So, ayan. So, what are we going to do next is to graph first or to plot first the y-intercept bago yung slope. Ipa-plot muna natin yung y-intercept. Okay? So, kuha tayo ng rectangular coordinate system. Ayan. Since ang ating y-intercept is positive 6 and ang ating y-intercept dito sa Cartesian plane is itong vertical line, ito yung y-intercept natin. Tama? Ipa-plot natin si positive 6 sa ating y-intercept. So, ito siya. Positive 6. Tama? Nandito yung ating first point. Then now, what are we going to do is to plot our slope. How are we going to plot our slope? Take a look at this. We have m is equal to rise over run. Meaning to say, ang ating rise is yung change in vertical and ang ating run is yung change in horizontal. Paano yun, ma'am? Hindi naman po fraction yung nakuha natin na slope. Ang slope po natin is negative 2. So, ang gagawin nyo dyan is ganito. Since ang ating slope ay negative 2, so we have m is equal to negative 2, i-assume natin yung ating denominator as 1. So, yan na yung ating magiging slope. Negative 2 over 1. Since we have negative 2, ito yung magiging change in vertical. Of course, ang ating vertical line is ito. Alright? Meaning to say, upward or downward ang ating move dito sa rise. Alright? Upward or downward. Since ito ay negative 2, meaning to say, downward from the y-intercept, downward. Okay? So, we have y-intercept. Since ang ating rise is negative 2, so downward, no? Pababa. Kung ito ay positive naman, pataas naman yun. Since negative, so pababa. So, we have 2 downward, 1, 2. So, nandito yung ating rise. Meron pa tayong run. So, lagyan muna natin ng tanda yan. Ito yung run. Si run naman is yung change in horizontal. Since ang ating horizontal line is dito, so left or right siya. Since si 1 natin is positive 1, so we have change in vertical or the rise, negative 2, 1, 2, and positive 1. Ito yung ating magiging run. So, meaning to say, nandito yung ating second point. Alright? Then, right after that, we are going to connect the dots. Pero, i-elaborate muna natin. Ito yung ating rise. Ayan. Bakit siya pababa or downward? Kasi po, negative po si 2. Alright? Pero kung positive po si 2, pataas yung ating rise. And then, we have positive 1 in horizontal or run. So, we have right after that is you are just going to connect the dots, enable for us to draw a line, right? And then, that's it. Nakapag-graph tayo ng linear equation or na-graph natin si y is equal to negative 2x plus 6 using slope and y-intercept. So, remember, when you are going to graph a linear equation using slope and y-intercept, kukuhain nyo lang si slope and y-intercept and i-consider nyo si rise over run, wherein yung rise natin is the change into vertical and yung run is the change into horizontal. Kapag negative si numerator, meaning to say, downward yon. Pero kapag positive, upward. Kapag naman positive, si denominator, right yon. Then, kapag naman siya ay negative, itong denominator, pa-left naman tayo. So now, we're going to talk about the fourth method on how to graph a linear equation using slope and 1 point. Ito na yung fourth method ng ating graphing of linear equations. Remember, methods to, no? Ibig sabihin, kahit alin doon sa apat ang gamitin natin, enable for us to graph a linear equation. So, the first step to do in using this method is, of course, to find a point first. Then, ang gagawin natin is mag-a-assign tayo ng value for x. Isang value lang kay x, okay? Kasi isang point lang yung kukuhain natin. And yung isang point is dito natin siya i-determine kay slope. Okay? So, mag-assign tayo ng value ni x. So, we have x is equal to 4. So, try ko si 4 as value of x. Then, the next step is to do substitution. Y is equal to negative 2x plus 6. Substitute lang natin yung value ni x, which is 4. Alright? So, copy lang si negative 2. And then, x is 4. So, times 4 plus 6. And then, negative 2 times 4 is negative 8 plus 6 equal to negative 2. So, y is negative 2. And then, hanapin natin yung ordered pair. Remember, ang ordered pair, siya yung magdidetermine ng point, okay, sa ating Cartesian plane. So, we have 4 in, ito yung y natin, negative 2. So, yun na yung ating ordered pair. The next is to find the slope of y is equal to negative 2x plus 6. So, remember, sa ating third method, using slope and y-intercept, nahanap na natin yung slope, which is itong negative 2. Bakit si negative 2? Kasi, yung ating linear equation is in the slope-intercept form, where y is equal to mx plus b, and m is yung ating slope. Ito yung ating slope, okay? So, we have our slope as negative 2. And then, pwede na natin siyang i-plot sa ating Cartesian plane. So, we have here our rectangular coordinate system. Alright? So, the first thing to do is to plot this ordered pair. Ito yung point, okay? Yung 1 point. So, we have 4 and negative 2. Ito yung ating positive 4 and negative 2. So, meaning to say, nandito yung ating point. Okay? And then, the next thing to do is to graph the slope. How are we going to graph the slope? Meron tayong tinatawag na m is equal to rise over run. Wherein yung rise natin, it is the change in vertical and run is the change in horizontal. So, enable for us to graph this, kagaya lang siya nung sa third method natin, yung using slope and y-intercepts, okay? Since ang ating slope is negative 2, and then, we have negative 2 over 1 since hindi siya naka-fraction. We have our rise change in vertical and ang ating vertical line is ito. Tama? So, meaning to say, mamimili lang tayo kung upward or downward. And since ito ay negative 2, so, downward tayo. Okay? Downward yung ating move. So, we have 1, 2. So, nandito siya. Okay? Then, the next thing to do is, i-consider nyo si run. And itong run is the change in horizontal. Since ang ating horizontal is itong x-axis, so we have positive 1, therefore, pa-right yung move natin. Kapag naman siya ay negative, pa-left yung move, okay? Since positive si 1, so pa-right, so we have, andito yung ating rise, and then dito yung ating run. Okay? So, ito na yung ating second point. And then, right after that, pwede na natin siyang i-connect, enable for us to draw a line. And there we have it. Ito na yung graph of a linear equation y is equal to negative 2x plus 6, okay? Using slope and 1 point. As you can see, pare-parehas lang sila ng graph, okay? Since pare-parehas lang naman kasi tayo ng ginamit na equation from the first method to the fourth method. Pare-parehas yung ating ginamit, which is y is equal to negative 2x plus 6. That's why pare-parehas yung graph natin, okay? And of course, any of those methods, pwede nyo siyang gamitin in graphing a linear equation, okay? So, I guess that would be all for this video. I hope you have learned something. And if you do, please do not forget to subscribe, like, comment, and share this to your friends. Remember, this is for grade 8, okay? So, thank you so much everyone for watching. God bless us all.